Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. My name is ZenJen Brown, and we are enjoying the Summer of Love poetry series here. And honestly, I'm having a delightful time, and I do hope that all of you are as well. And whether you're listening to this on YouTube or podcast or in replay, just know that you are appreciated, and thanks so much for supporting these offerings. So today we have something called Poets in Conversation. And so it's a little bit different than the one-on-ones because we're one on however many of us show up today. And we did have a whole slew of people sign up. So I expect more people to pop on as we go along here. But I thought what we might do is for those of you that are interested in sharing that are on the call today, um, how about we just say hello? And that would just mean your name and maybe how we're arriving today. So I'm Jen, and I'm arriving elated. I love this idea, and I was thrilled that so many people had signed up for it. And I'm just kind of really digging the whole thing. So thanks so much for being here. And we'll just go around. I'll start at the top here, which is for me, that's Joanne Draper.
Hello, I'm Joanne, and I am from Southern Idaho, and I am arriving here with gratitude and curiosity.
Thanks so much for being here. Uh, Jenny.
Hi. Do I have to click on here? No.
You're good.
Okay. I'm Jenny. I'm arriving with motivation to learn how to be more creative. And I'm living in Connecticut.
Thanks again for being here too. Miss Patty Joy. You're on mute, sweetheart.
Today is my birthday, and my grandson just brought me. That's why I got up this little flower. So sweet. Okay, I'm Patty Joy Posen. Live in Maryville, Tennessee. Love to write, and yeah, writing poetry and being motivated is just my joy, and it's centered me a lot. And Jen has been a big help.
Thank you, sweetie. Hey, thanks for sharing your birthday with us.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
Birthday.
They even brought me key lime pie.
Oh boy, oh
Love
boy.
lime pie.
Awesome. Happy birthday to you.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
Very young.
Linda
Very young.
Meg. Miss Linda Meg.
Hi, everybody. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm arriving today just excited to be in conversation with other poets. I enjoy poetry, and I enjoy, like Jenny, I enjoy learning from other poets. So that's why I'm here today.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Miss Linda M.
Hello, I'm Linda, and I am in Florida, and I'm arriving slightly distracted. I do some, I don't even know what you'd call it, young people, and they're not my children, but they're kind of like my children. And I've got one that's sort of spiraling, so I'm a little distracted, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. But it's all going to be fine. So.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I can't speak for all offerings because some people, if they're late, they shut the door or whatever like that. Hey, if you can make it 5%, 10%, any percent you can get to it, come. If you can come, if you're not able to have your screen on or whatever it is, because I think whatever, sometimes things are tough, but I want to listen in. And I'm like always, sometimes I just want to relax and not do anything, but I want to receive. So I'm gonna show up whenever you can and whatever you can. So thanks again for being here. I appreciate that. And Miss Cheryl.
Hi. I'm Cheryl, and I'm from Canada. And I guess I'm here with curiosity once again. I'm trying to learn about this new way of writing. So that's why I'm here.
Well, thanks for being here. And Joanne.
Oh, hello. I'm Joanne. I live in Colorado, halfway between Denver and the Rocky Mountains. So I say I have the best of both worlds, the civilized and the wild. And I am arriving from the shower where unfortunately I did not have a pencil and pen because I had some great lines I could have wrote down. But I didn't, and now they're gone. Like the water that flushed down the tub, there went those lines. So, happy birthday, Patty Joy.
Oh, thank you.
Yay, for sure. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. So how about we start this off with, did anybody have something in their mind they brought that they wanted to say?
I can say something.
Go ahead.
Of what I just learned, never, never, never be without a pencil and pen, because the best lines come to you and they go just as quickly by the time you get home or whenever you can get to write them. Carry that with you.
I'd like to
Yeah.
say, I agree with you, except my poems come in the middle of the night when I'm dreaming. And I'll say, okay, oh, that's wonderful. Oh my God, that's fabulous. I'll remember this. No, I don't. And there were some marvelous lines in those poems. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
happens.
they do. They say to keep a notepad at the side of your bed
Yes.
Right.
and write that stuff down when it comes
Yeah.
on in.
Yes, so
Yeah.
true.
Well, I'm more
Yeah.
technical. I have a little spot in my phone that says notes, and I do use it. I mean, my poetry, for the most part, is written digitally in my phone,
Yeah.
because I can't read my own writing, and especially at night.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and I use a lot of digital media also, and sometimes when I'm out walking, and I don't bring my phone with me when I go walking because it's too much of a distraction, but I have an Apple Watch and it has a voice memo feed
Yes.
to it.
Yes.
There have been times when just recently, I was sitting on a bench under a birch tree and I was looking at the way the sun came through that. And I thought, I need to say something about this and then go home and write about it. But if I hadn't recorded it, by the time I got home, I might have forgotten. So I have a little notebook in my purse and I use the notes app on my phone a lot, but I just, any way that I can, anything that's available to me when I remember once a long time ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and this great line came to me and I had no pen and paper. I had an attached bathroom to my bedroom and the only thing I could grab to write with was lipstick.
Up
So
in the mirror.
Oh no.
I wrote on my mirror in lipstick.
It's a good idea.
Lipstick on the mirror.
And yeah, and then in the morning, I thought, oh yeah, that, and it was, if I had not done anything, I would never have remembered
Forgot.
that great shot. And I don't remember if I did anything amazing to it, but I just remember that was one time I was desperate to get something written down, and that was the only writing utensil I could find.
Yeah, that's great. It sounds like something, the lipstick in the mirror, something I would offer in one of my workshops. Ginny, why don't you go ahead and ask a question? Because these are some pretty good writers we got here with us today.
Okay, so I was just thinking when Patty Joy was saying that she thought of a line. Like, do you think of a scenario first, like something that has happened to you or something you're seeing right now, and then you think of the line, or just does the line come to you?
I don't usually have a scenario. In fact, I don't think I ever do. It's just the line comes to me. It's kind of like when you were talking about seeing the sunlight filter through the tree, and all of a sudden
Okay.
that, there was a thought. And that's often how a lot of when I have in my phone, a lot of little lines like that I haven't carried to fruition. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't lose them, because sometimes all those little thoughts will become a poem in their own. If you look what you're writing, it turns itself into a poem on its own.
Does anybody have a picture in their mind and then they write the poem after that? I'm just wondering.
Well, for me, I have written a lot of poems, and they almost always come as a bubble up in my mind, something that just sort of comes to me, a line, a thought, and then it pretty much comes all the way out. And so that's my question, because I have a little bit of a trouble going back to edit, and then I start second guessing myself. But I can write, like, say, maybe 8 or 9 lines, and very quickly, if I'm in that creative space. I feel like, most people who are creating things, you have your right brain, your left brain, and when that side, that's the creative side, kicks in, it's gone, and you're not really paying a lot of attention to other things. So I feel like to try and nurture your creative side of your brain, whether you're going to write a poem or just look at something and see something about it that resonates as far as contrast, just out of the blue weird shit, you know what I mean?
Hey, it's the way we see life is what
Yeah.
this is. And it's even more than the right and left brain. I mean, we need to remember we are multi-dimensional beings. We have this physical body, and that's where a lot of times when you're entering the workshops, they'll say, remember, we have a body, because we're multi-dimensional. And yoga, the philosophy of yoga teaches us that there's 5 layers of this multi-dimensional being. You have the physical layer, and then you have the energy, breath, body, and you have the thoughts, the mental there. And generally speaking, as humans, we kind of get hung up in those in the first 3. The thoughts affect the breathing. We're hyperventilating, and the body is tight and all that. And okay, while these 3 are carry on like little kids, school kids here. Layer 4 is our intuition, creativity, imagination, and then beyond that is contentment and bliss. And this is what we want to tap into. So it makes sense to keep that balance. It's all this overall balance about our energy, and it's not even just the poetry. It's how our experience of life altogether, how we see things, is what I'm understanding this poetry to be. It's not necessarily the words on the page. It's the heart. It's your heart. And so there is so much to that, Miss Linda. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's different for everyone too. I mean, which is unfortunate, but true. I have a friend who's a actually world-renowned artist. She's painting, visual artist. And she is, when she's in her creative space, she can't find her way out of a room.
Right.
And you're just not the same thinker. I mean, and I think some of us are very balanced, and some of us are very one way or the other way, and we're just all the different ranges of that
Oh,
creativity and
yeah, for sure.
analyticalness, and
For
that's
sure. But
why.
on
Yeah.
that though, you got to figure that how much we practice something.
Yeah.
And I don't know, can we go overboard?
No.
And how much we practice something, I don't know. There's famous writers, Hemingway and stuff like that,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, I do think sometimes creative people do go overboard. That's why they're so tortured.
Yeah. Well, it's emotion. It's such a powerful that's what's really blowing my mind. And really I want all of you writers to know that I appreciate you sharing space with me, because I'm not this writer yet, but you guys have introduced me to like a whole deeper level of showing up for yourself, because you play so delicately with all these emotions, with love. You know what I mean? It's somebody else talk besides me. I talk too
Oh, I
much
was
all
gonna,
the
I
time.
was gonna share that one thing that I love to do is meet with other poets.
Yes.
And I often, in fact, ZenJen's on a lot of it. And I said, oh, well, there she is. There she is. I love James Cruz and Rosemary Watola Tromer and Carrie Newcomer and
Yeah.
others, Judith Valente. And I talk and work with them. And what I like about James is he gives you prompts. I think they're like prompts. They're and that and that in itself carries me to a whole nother place of writing.
Yes.
The last one he did that I wrote on was Luminous. And I went outside and I just sat there and all of a sudden all this stuff started lighting up for me. So I do enjoy that. And I enjoy hearing what they say and what they do. I'm not really jealous of them. I had a friend that once said you need to put your poems in a book. And I thought, I don't write to publish my poems. I just write because it feeds me
Yeah.
and other people. I can, so that's just a suggestion that to start meeting with some of these other people. Um,
Or meet with your peers, your
Yeah.
own peers.
yeah, yeah.
We don't always need the experts. We could just collaborate
I
with
mean,
our
they become
peers.
friends, and it's like, and they all come from a different thing. And my spiritual director that I meet with twice every month, I've told now she gives me a word. I say, give me a word, leave me with a word, and I'll use that word and kind of cogitate it and roll it around and see what I can do with that. But
What was the last word she gave you?
float.
Float.
Okay. I love that word.
Got a lot of different.
She gave me that once before, and I wrote about float every day, something to do with float. So I'm going to send it to her and say, that's an old word. No, every word can be new. Everything can be new.
Everything
And I
is
think poetry
new.
opens the world to a whole nother space of being for
Yeah.
me.
I want
But
to
I
say just
think,
another quick thing. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to forget, Linda Meg.
go ahead,
Stay
go ahead.
there,
I'm not going to
because
forget.
I'll forget. I will.
Okay.
Just would say that that Patty Joy, one of the other aspects of this beautiful space with the poets is it's not a competitive. It's not like a cut
Oh,
your throat kind of space. Everybody is absolutely more than generous, and you can guarantee. Well, I don't know about guarantee anymore. Anything in life, but you could be pretty darn sure that nobody really has any ulterior motives, and it's
yeah.
all true to heart. It's all about us helping each other out.
It is.
Yeah, and then Ginny, I just want to say it is for me the next step on the healing journey, and we've been together for years, Ginny, doing stuff, and I definitely think that this writing stuff is a great direction. Thank you, Linda Meg. I appreciate that, my dear.
Oh, no problem. I just keep thinking about asking for tips. Jenny asks for tips. And I can remember when I first started, well, not when I first started, because I started when I was very young and I wasn't taking any tips from anybody then, unless it was Emily Dickinson. But now, you know, I can remember a time in my life when I wanted to really write well, and I wanted to learn from not only the experts, anybody that would listen and anybody that had a possible answer. I only have one tip for writing, or maybe two, but it is to write, to sit down with a pen and a piece of paper, whatever, typewriter, however you do it, and write what's on your mind. And I was taught early on to just free write, let your mind go and let it go where it will, and say those words on paper that maybe you won't even allow yourself to say out loud or even in your mind to yourself, but here they come. Those sometimes turn out to be the most informative, the most necessary piece of ourself that we're hiding even from
Yeah.
ourselves. And I don't know if you know, most people I don't know about this. What I'm fixing to say is just that I think we hide so much from ourselves. And we think we know ourselves. I mean, in my 30s and 40s, I can tell you I knew myself. I was aware and I knew so much. And now I know nothing, nothing these 30 years later, And every day is a new discovery. I'm like, oh, do I think that? And oh my gosh, where did that come from? And the other day I was in a meeting much like this, and people were talking and I wasn't saying a word and I was like, "What? Why am I not saying anything?" And all of a sudden I realized my grandmother had shown up and I was not allowed to speak because the subject they were talking about was taboo. And I didn't ever know that. I mean, I knew it, but I'd never experienced it like that before. So just allowing yourself to experience who you are, where you are, and then to allow that to come out onto the page, you'll be amazed
Yeah.
at how well you write
You know,
once you let yourself.
Linda made you point out something that's really very strong within me that I had to go back because sometimes we have blocks, and those
Yeah.
blocks can come from just numerous places, whatever it is, like your grandmother showing up. I went to a very, very structured Catholic school, and your writing did not have freedom. You did not free write. If you free wrote, you might end up in the principal's office with a paddle coming down towards your hand, which happened, as a matter of fact. So I would say, especially if you feel afraid to write, or when you write, you think it's not good enough, because I totally own those feelings all the time, every day as I write. I just have to go back and realize, where are those feelings coming from? What's my block? I have a block. I know I have a block. Thank God to ZenJen for helping me kind of whittle my way through it. And I am still whittling.
Hey, I'm just whittling, and you guys help me because you keep me accountable. You keep me showing up.
Yeah, but
So
I was
that's
writing and writing and writing, and I never expressed one word out loud until I was in a workshop with you, ever.
yeah. Well, it's a neat thing. That's what happened. I went through the um in the yoga therapy it was when I learned about writing. I mean, I knew about journaling before, but every time I did it, it was nothing more than a count of what the heck happened and what I ate and what I was gonna do and all that bull. And I could never, and I'm still struggling to actually find where this fountain of diamonds is. But in the therapy training, this writing kept coming up as one of the healing modalities in every single, or just about every ailment. We've got to write. We have to know what's going on in our head. And this is energy. So even if we pretend it's not there and all this stuff, it's there.
Yeah, it is there.
It's there. So yeah,
And
so that's why the writing.
I learned
Thanks,
too.
Linda.
When I first started, I did haiku because that was simple. I thought
Well,
anybody
you
can
want to
write.
explain what that haiku is?
Haiku is a form of writing where it's 5, 7, 5, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. And you can do that with anything you want.
Patty, not to interrupt you, but that's exactly what I got my paddling for. Go ahead now. It was a haiku.
That's hilarious.
And I did I started with clouds, and I wrote about clouds every day, taking pictures and putting a haiku with them. It just flowed, and that I really enjoyed that. And then I started learning more about who I was, and that's what started coming out. And I thought, this is bigger than I thought. And I was taking courses back then. It was before COVID, but with Christine Walters Pantner with Abbey of the Arts. And that group were the ones that I learned I didn't have to follow any form when I wrote my poetry. It was my form. I didn't have to rhyme. It didn't have to be 4 lines or 5 lines or 6 lines. It was what was coming from me. And so I would write, and the people that were looking at it showed me how I could put it in all these different forms. They never said anything. It was just, they said, look at it this way, or look at it this way. And that's when it kind of freed me. It untied the knots that there wasn't any form that I had to follow, and I needed that. I didn't want to follow anyone's form. So,
Yep. Which is
yeah.
excellent, but it's also like, okay, well, now it's the world. It's you could be anything you want to be in this lifetime. What do you want to be?
Yeah.
So it's so wide
Oh,
now.
it is.
It is. It's so wide that I could do anything. I'm like, okay, I need direction. I need a format.
Yep.
I need a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well,
Give
and
me
then
my
I have,
directions.
yeah, I do a monthly gathering with a group of poets, and Lisa Brieger leads it. And we have a prompt every month, and then we write what we're going to write, and then we all send it in, and then we all sit and look at it and give suggestions of how it could be more meaningful. I like that too. I like the accountability.
Hmm.
I have a,
Yeah, I think a good little revision space might not be a bad idea either, because I think everybody's looking for some feedback,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
you know?
sometimes I don't know. Can you hear me? Yeah. I
Yeah.
think sometimes when I think the writing is not good enough, well, it is not good enough. And it's always helpful for me to have feedback and critique. We do that in my group, but also just like playing tennis, there's always people that can't play as well as you, and there's people that play a whole lot better. And from those people that play a whole lot better, I take a class now and then here and
Mhm.
there and find that the craft of writing, my feelings, yeah, they're out on the page, but I want to know how to improve the craft. How can I make this better? And by improving the craft, I think you make your writing more interesting, more appealing, more available to other people. So
Mhm.
that is why I really try to improve the craft.
I belong to a group. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Phyllis Cole Dye.
Yeah.
I know.
Mhm.
Um, she has a group called Poets on the Raft.
Yes.
And I'm in the Tuesday group. Our facilitator had to leave, so she was such a good one that we had to replace her with 4 of us who take turns facilitating the group. And but what we do is we meet twice a month, and once a month half of us send in our poems
Mhm.
to the person in charge for that week, and we read them over and take notes, and then when we get together, the person shares the poem and maybe a little bit about what was the inspiration or the story behind it. And then everybody gives feedback, and we always ask how much feedback do you want, nobody just wants to read their poem and say, oh, that's really nice. They
Right.
want
Mhm.
they want somebody to tell them, if
Mhm.
the parts that are good and the parts that maybe need a little work. And there's one woman in particular in my group who she always wants more. She'll say, I like this and I like this and I like this, but in this part here, I need you to have some color in it, or I want to know more about what that other person said. And and you can take their suggestions or not, but it's really good to hear what somebody else thinks of what you've written, and it's been very helpful. And it gives us the courage to try different forms if we want. There's
Mhm.
one guy in the group who's into something called Hyben,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and which, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like prose poetry mixed in with haiku.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mm.
and I've seen it done in different ways. And this one guy, that's all he wants to do right now. And he's found all these
Mhm.
places where he can submit them.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's a form that I'm interested in trying, but it's interesting to know that there is such a form, and it's exciting to see somebody else getting so excited about this. And so, just being part of that group, and And the other thing I was thinking of when everybody was talking was when they talk about your poem isn't good. I always think about what Rosemary Watola Tromer says, is that it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be true.
That's right.
Um,
Mhm.
especially when you're first writing something down. You're just trying to be as true to yourself as you can be when you're writing. And you know,
Right.
not everyone is going to be deathless literature, you know, it's sometimes they just aren't, they're just not good. And that's okay.
Joanne,
And
what's the name of that type of poetry again? The Haibun? How do you spell that?
Haibun.
Haibun. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to jump on what Joanne said about it. It just has to be true, which is absolutely true. It has to be true to you. It does not have to be factual.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the literal way something happened. I also am in a poetry group, and there's one woman who I'm really good friends with, but when she reads a poem, and if you critique the section of it and say, well, this doesn't sound da da da, and she'll say, but it's what happened. And that, she's always said, but it's what happened. Well, it's what happened, but for the poem's sake, is it the most accessible way to say that? Is there a way you can get that feeling? It's not evoking the feeling, it's just telling the facts. And so I think that's an important thing to remember too, is that you're the author of your poetry. You can do what you want with it as long as it's true to who you are.
Yes.
We will be having Phyllis Goldeye come in conversation in August. I think it's August 25th. I don't know all the dates, but August, we're going to have Phyllis Goldeye. We're going to have Rosemary Tromer,
I saw
Watola
that.
Tromer. Yeah, and Christy Ashwanden. They have a podcast and they talk about creative process, emerging
Yeah.
form is their podcast. So they're going to be on
Wonderful.
together talking about process. So yeah, Phyllis Goldeye is just she's just a very deep thinker, and I think she's very interesting woman. And she's going to actually come on and talk about some artifacts or photos, or it's going to be more of a personal conversation. But I am a part of Phyllis's community as well. We're also going to have Maya Stein is coming on, and she's going to talk about the art of revision. If you're not familiar with Maya Stein, she's going to be coming on and talking about the revision, which is awesome. We're also going to have Ginny East, who is going to be talking about memoir writing. And she also is her latest book is The Enlightened Writer. So she's talking about taking the philosophy of yoga and applying it to the page. And part of that's that multi-dimensional being, kind of clearing out to produce our best little space here, you know. And then who else? She Writes Press. Brooke Warner is going to be one of our guests for She Writes Press. If anybody's thinking of publishing it all, they might want to pop on for that conversation. But yeah, it's just amazing, all these people that are saying they will jump on in this series. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know to check out the list of who and what and when, and put it in your calendar if you would.
Okay.
Who else has something on their mind?
I think poetry is very personal and very special to the person that's writing. I do, the groups that I'm in do offer comments, but I take what I write as mine, and I probably will not change it because I know what it is. So I look for groups that we can gather and be encouraged. And I think that's what had really helped me from the beginning, was that I could write whatever I felt I needed. I didn't need form. I didn't need it to be better. it came from me. And I think that for me, that's so important. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does to me. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Okay.
I
Yeah.
guess
Because
I'm a little different there. I want it to be polished and perfect. I want it to
yeah.
shine. I
Mm,
want other people to read it and say,
ah,
wow, I can relate to that. I understand what she's saying. I want
I
to
bet you.
I want to
Yeah.
communicate to others with my poetry. I also want to leave it behind for my grandchildren. I want them to understand. So I want it to be crafted well. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
Yeah. I do post my poetry, and I have a page on Facebook, and I have a lot of. That's where I get my feedback. Is
mm,
from the person that's not the poet. That's who I
yeah.
really want to. If I meet,
Yeah.
Well,
how to say.
Joanne,
How do I get in touch with how can I see that page? Or,
It,
or yeah,
yeah.
share it.
Well, it's
Share it.
You're not on Facebook though, are you, Joanne?
No,
oh, I'm on
my
Facebook.
grandson can help me get there.
Yeah,
mhm.
okay.
Well, I'll
Okay.
send you the link for sure.
Okay, send me the link.
Joanne,
Yeah,
I have a
it's Pat.
question for you. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, sweetie.
I was talking to Joanne. I wanted to know, uh, do you have a poetry group? Are you the person who said that you had that or have that? Because I feel like similar to what you were saying about how you want people to follow your poetry. I kind of want that now, but I feel like my poetry is very, I don't know if you'd call it personal. It might be a bit shallow to other people, but I know what I'm saying, and it's very me, but it's then also not. I don't know if people could relate to what I write. Maybe they would.
The personal becomes universal when you put it. I mean, whatever happens to you in your life has probably happened to many other million people, whatever it is, birth, death,
Mm-hmm.
graduation, a million things happens to everyone. And if you can share that so they can understand it. Oh, yeah, that's what happened to me.
Well,
I get it.
yeah, I know. It's Jen. You have something to say, but could I share a brief poem with you at some point so you
Yeah,
could
no, go
Yeah,
ahead. I
understand
don't
what I'm
have
saying?
anything. Do
sure.
No?
it.
Okay.
Do it.
This is really short, and it's similar and pretty much close to what type of thing that I write. It's called The Allowance. She allowed herself to melt fully into the life she was given. She quietly abandoned the questions as to why. She turned her back on fear and anxiety. She freed herself from all negativity. And slowly she acknowledged her entitlement to be joyful and happy. And with gratitude and appreciation, she enjoyed the life she was given. She embraced the waves, the sun, and the moon as though they were hers, and they were. So I feel like that's it. And that came to me like in a expansive 20 minutes or less. So what do I do to make it better?
Well, I would add more examples. Read it again a little bit slower, the first
Okay.
couple of lines.
Um, it's called The Allowance. She allowed herself to melt fully into the life she was given.
Okay, there. How about some examples? What is that life she was given? The joy of children or cousins or, the life she was given. What was that life? A nice picture of what that was. That's what I mean, making the personal universal,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
That's
make a note of that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's my way of thinking about enjoying a poem. I need pictures, and I like when the poet presents me with pictures. The waves, what was that line? You did have it.
That's the last line, or
It
the
was
second to
near
the
the last.
last.
It was
Yeah,
close.
this is at the bottom. She
Yeah.
embraced its, well, let me do the last two.
Yeah.
And with gratitude and appreciation, she enjoyed the life she was given. She embraced the waves, the sun, and the moon as
That's
though they
beautiful.
were hers, and they were.
And that's beautiful. The waves, the sun, that gives you some, that gives the reader something to look into with you.
Mhm.
Because I
Okay.
have waves in the sun and the moon too.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I guess my point is I should try and put more adjectives, more similes, more metaphors. I don't know.
More
I mean,
pictures, more visuals in there. It was a beautiful poem. I would love that poem. I wish I wrote it, okay?
oh,
I
okay.
just would have a few more pictures and more visuals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joanne.
It reminded me of that poem "She Let Go" by Sapphire Rose. That poem was a lot of just little short. She didn't this. She just let go. And
Mhm.
she didn't put in her calendar. She didn't do this. She just let go.
That's true.
But I do think what Joanne is saying is take each segment and how can you make somebody feel it? That's pretty cool. Does anybody else have anything to say about that? I think Linda would be able to handle the communication about
Yeah.
it because I've seen her in memoir groups and there are some pretty
Yeah.
sharp. Hey,
She
this
saw the
no,
beat
yes,
down. She saw the
yeah.
beat.
So I'm sure anything we had to say will be nice and soft.
Yes.
So
I came for that. I come for that. I can stay in my little shell and stay there, or I can hear some other points of view. That's what I came for.
Linda May? Oh, Joanne?
Is it okay if I share one
Mm.
that I
Yeah, let me just find out first if anybody else has anything to say about Miss Linda's
Okay.
work there, because I want to make sure everybody leaves with something if they came for that specifically. Linda Meg, do you have anything to say about that?
I would love to either hear it again or see it to be able to really make a comment on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to read it again, I will just pay total attention with the idea of giving feedback.
Yeah, let's do that and just slow it down and give me some love, baby, when you're reading it.
Oh, I have trouble with that, but okay. The allowance. She allowed herself to melt fully into the life she was given. She quietly abandoned the questions as to why. She turned her back on fear and anxiety. She freed herself from all negativity. And slowly, she acknowledged her entitlement to be joyful and happy. And with gratitude and appreciation, she enjoyed the life she was given. She embraced the waves, the sun, and the moon as though they were hers. And they were.
Thumbs up.
I particularly like the way you got into the poem, the way she melts herself. That was just sublime, the way you started that. And so as you're going through and I'm listening to what you're saying, I'm listening intently to what you're saying, you did a really good job of saying what you came to say and for us to understand it. Or at least I understand what you're trying to say and I resonate with it. I really like it. It's a poem I'd read and enjoy and read again. Now I think the place, if you want to change it, I would consider now you want to make us feel it. I think we understand it, but to feel it does require those specifics that Joanne was talking about, the concrete images. We live in this body, and when we read poetry, we want to relate to the things we see in this body and those are the things that make us feel. So I think Joanne's feedback in that way was just right on point, that if you're wanting to grow and expand so that others feel what you're saying, not just understand, it's really well crafted for understanding. So you've got that. So now what is the fear? What is it? The I don't know. I can't think of anything. I want to be brilliant and say something really smart, and I can't think of a thing. But, or the negativity for me that, or the ex-husband or something,
Right.
something that tells us what that specific is. And then you don't have to say the fear because we'll feel the fear. You don't have to say the negativity. We'll understand. And you can just put those specifics in where those words are. And I'd love to see the revision. Now, Jen, you're going to have to do a revision
Now
thing
you're
for
giving
it.
me work, Linda. Dog.
I'm giving you work, and I want to see it. I want to hear it
Oh,
again.
got it now. You two, you three. I appreciate the feedback. I do. I do.
Oh yeah,
No,
I think it was pretty darn good feedback too,
Yes, I do appreciate it.
because it's understood. And I think you did say something brilliant there, Linda Meg, when you said the fear. What is the fear? Um,
Yeah, I wrote that down.
yeah, we got to recognize that for all of us. Linda Meg's been working with that since she retired. Anything that she finds fearful, she's just kind of doing it, unless it's not legal or moral or
Legal.
or bungee
Yeah.
jumping.
Yeah, I want to say
No
thank
bungee
you for
jumping.
sharing that beautiful poem.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah, Joanne, go ahead, please.
Okay. Oh, this is one that I shared in my my other poetry group, and I'm going to read the unrevised version of it and see if you can tell the part where it was suggested that I add more details. Okay, and this is called 0704. Today, the only thing I'm celebrating is the rain. It started overnight after a long dry spell, and I awoke to it still falling. I stood on my front step in my pajamas and breathed in cool freshness. Later, I walked in the park, feet sloshing through puddles like I was 5 years old. I felt just that giddy, that full of joy. I stopped by a pine tree still spangled with raindrops, and the light that shone through them was more beautiful than any fireworks, a quiet explosion of grace.
You're looking for feedback?
Yeah, I just do you think there was one place in particular that somebody suggested that I needed more details, and I was wondering if you could tell any place that it needed something more,
I
or
think
what
you
did
should,
you?
I think you should read it again one more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Today, the only thing I'm celebrating is the rain. It started overnight after a long dry spell, and I awoke to it still falling. I stood on my front step in my pajamas and breathed in cool freshness. Later, I walked in the park, feet sloshing through puddles like I was 5 years old. I felt just that giddy, that full of joy. I stopped by a pine tree still spangled with raindrops, and the light that shone through them was more beautiful than any fireworks, a quiet explosion of grace.
Well, I think the second half has much, much more. I know I envision the second half a lot more than the very first part. I don't know if that's the part they mentioned that you would maybe alter. I don't know. That's just me, and
Okay.
I'm far from an expert.
I feel that it needs one more line at the end. Something, how did you feel about that grace? Was that grace in you or outside of you? I think it needs another line, a concluding line. I felt that.
Yeah. And
Beautiful poem, beautiful poem. I love the visuals, the
Yeah, beautiful.
5-year-old walking through puddles. That's perfect. I mean, that tells you exactly how you felt. Splash, splash. It was very nice visuals. I feel your joy, but I feel it was incomplete. One more line.
okay.
Anybody else?
Good poem. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. And I liked your last line a lot. Uh, I'm contemplating Joanne's feedback here about that. Read me the last couple of lines again.
Okay. The light that shone through them was more beautiful than any fireworks, a quiet explosion of grace.
Mm.
In my
Yeah, for me,
uh,
that's enough. For me, that's enough. But I think it depends on what you intend for that, what you meant for that.
Yeah.
Is Joanne's feedback that it needs something else to tell you a little more about the grace, because I brought my own definition of grace to it.
Mhm.
It may be that I'm concluding it myself, and maybe you really do need to. I don't know. That's, of course, it's always up to the poet
Right.
to decide what feedback they take, you know.
Yeah.
But I did particularly like that last line. Please do not do away with it. Add to it if you must, but please do not do away with it.
The one area that somebody said something about before was when I breathed in cool freshness.
Uh-huh.
And I was trying to think, as I was doing it, there's that smell when it's growing on dry ground, and the name of the term for that is called petrichor. And I was trying to figure out a way to fit that word in there without making it sound like I'm just putting it in there because I know this fancy word.
No, it wouldn't work.
Sweet.
But
And
maybe a scent.
yeah, well,
scent.
that was the one place that somebody said that what is cool freshness? And I thought, well, to me it was so obvious, but maybe to somebody else that smell that when it's
Well, I
raining.
can tell you,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. When I was walking this morning, and it rained pretty hard this morning before I walked, and then I ran into our lawnmower man, and I smelled wet grass, and definitely has a distinctive flavor for the smell.
It does. It does, because I have somebody mow my lawn for me, and I had my windows open while he was mowing, and I also had a fan blowing, so it was blowing this lovely fragrance. I thought, I wish there was a way to bottle that and just be able to.
I bet there is. Somebody's done it.
And I wish there was smell internet. I mean, could you imagine what that would be like?
I'd be able to offer essential oils via
Yes.
Zoom.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to drive through a canyon with eucalyptus, and oh my gosh, and I'd say, I love
mallow. I have one I'll read.
I think that eucalyptus, one moment. I think that eucalyptus is poisonous to dogs.
Oh, thank you.
Phoebe, stay away from the eucalyptus.
Research that a little bit. Go ahead, please, Patty Joy.
Well, I was going to read this. It was when I moved, I lived in the mountains in Swanee, Tennessee for close to 50 years. And I was in the middle of the woods on a bluff alone. And when my husband died, I was ecstatic because I was alone and I just loved being alone. And then as time went on and my health was not as good, I knew I needed to leave. And that poetry in that woods just nourished me every day, day in, day out. There was a poem around me. And now I'm in Maryville, near Knoxville, and I don't have the woods. I felt very lonely, a little bit sad, for myself. Well, someone wrote a poem about blackbirds, and I have a little backyard. And I went out to this little backyard where I do my contemplative time every morning. And I saw this flash of black with orange and red. And it was a blackbird. And that was what got me to my poem. And this is what I wrote. The allure of blackbirds. It began with a single visitor, a lone red-winged blackbird, captivating in its midnight blue hue. Soon others followed, and my yard transformed into a bustling canvas of vibrant colors and textures. The scene unfolded like a work of art as the blackbirds danced upon the breeze, their bright yellow epaulets on full display. The contrast of their bold colors against the backdrop of the sky was a visual symphony, each bird playing its part in the performance. I was struck by the ephemeral nature of this gathering as they flew, their wings spread wide, revealing intricate patterns and shades, drawing me deeper into their mesmerizing world. These red-winged blackbirds brought more than just a sense of wonder to my yard. They carried with them a reminder of the beauty and fragility of life. I felt grateful for the opportunity to witness their mesmerizing dance, even if only for a fleeting moment. And that was kind of how I got back into nature again, with those beautiful blackbirds. I've never watched them as much as I do now.
Do you feed them? Do you put out seeds or
I
suet?
do. I have
Oh.
for Mother's Day, Adam got me a camera. So when they come to eat, I'm watching them all day long. But I have the blackbirds and I have 2 hedgehogs and a squirrel.
Hedgehogs. Oh, nice. So nice. Yeah.
But that's kind of where I am when I write. It's just I sit there and all of a sudden there's just, oh yeah, okay, got it, you know, and I start going from there. Oh,
It's beautiful. It's like memoir. It's something to leave for your family when you're not
well,
here.
I have a whole, yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
I love your use of the word ephemeral
Thank you.
to talk about when you see them and when you don't, because it is, you never can count on it. That's what makes it so great when you do get to see them.
And when I see them, I know I'm alive.
Yeah.
I am alive. And this whole universe, this little area, my God's little acre, it's not even an acre, my God's little piece of land now.
Put that
my
in there. Put that exact what you just said in that piece. When I see them, I know I'm alive.
Yeah.
That belongs in there.
I think I have that somewhere else too. Nature lets me know I'm alive. You can just sit and watch it if it's a bee or an ant or a whatever.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Exactly, me too.
Anybody else have anything to say about Patty Joy's piece?
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's beautiful. I want to write that poem that way. I want to write my poems more. I know yours had an energy to it, something that was like visceral. When you start to like listen, you can sort of see it and feel it and all that, which but I don't know whether you can learn it from someone else. You can only hear it from someone else, and then hopefully you can emulate somehow in your lower gut where the poems come from to do that. I mean, or do you sit down and start with a thought? And I'm asking, I guess,
no
this to
thoughts.
all of you. Or okay, so you had this experience with the blackbirds, and then something came from you. Was it pretty much all there then, or did you just start to toy with the language and the words?
It just, I was sitting out in the little garden area, and I was so startled by this. It was as the bird had been sent to me. And because I've never paid a lot of attention to how beautiful these blackbirds are with these wings when they fly. And it went by and I had to turn and find what it was and where it went. And then I just started feeling. I wasn't judging, I wasn't writing then. It was, what did that bird do for me? What was happening in my little acre there? You know, even that wasn't in my mind. And on my iPhone, I have, the note pages, and they're filled with, and that's how I'd start. I might see something and what was it doing and how did it affect? I really don't have a thought process. They just sort of come.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's kind of like Mary Oliver. I don't think she thinks about what she writes. I don't think she rewrites what she wrote. It's just this beautiful poetry that flows from her. Not that I'm a Mary Oliver. I like Mary Oliver. But
That's what I'm
happened.
waiting for. Something just to come boop, be perfect out like
Yeah.
that.
Well, you know,
And
you're a
from what
beautiful
I'm
author, though.
gathering,
Yeah.
I'm gathering from the conversations that I've been having with the poets is it doesn't really happen that way. There's
No.
an art to this revision, and that's what prompted the idea for me to reach out to Maya Stein, because she's beautiful in the
Yeah.
way she talks about revision. She's got a passion for it, and she shares a lot about her revision process, and it's just fascinating. And we take what resonates. I think it was Bruce Lee. You take this and add you, and then it comes out that, you know.
Mhm.
Um, Patty Joy, though, I do want to give you the floor because it's your birthday, and I'd like you to
Uh-oh.
just give yourself a birthday message or gift right now, and what comes through you, be received by yourself, or I'm sure it'll resonate with all of us, or something. Just let yourself talk as if your pen's writing on the page.
Okay. You know, I think I actually woke up 6 years ago. Today's my 70. I actually thought it was 76, but my brother, who's 81, said, no, you're 77. I don't think about age, but I woke up and I decided
years
I
ago.
needed to walk this path. And it just kind of opened. I mean, I found myself going out and howling at the moon, which I love. I love the moon, dancing at full moons, going to full moon gatherings, meeting with sisters, brothers, whatever. And I think that's what helps me grow. Now I'm in this house. I'm not allowed to go outside right now because of the air quality. I don't go outside because I have a breathing problem. However, no, I don't have a breathing problem. My breath doesn't do what it's supposed to. But, and so that leaves me here to write and to think and to ponder. And I do like myself, but it took time to like the Patty Joy that was born 5 years ago. And each day, Patty comes back. I'm a whole different person than I was. I mean, I was the church lady. I did everything in the church, and I'm not that church lady anymore. It was just like there's a song about that where you're just bursting forth, and I flowered. I still do church on Zoom sometimes, but I was living all these other parts, and I think in is it what is the little there's a word, Sam something, all these little parts of you, they're a yoga term, and I'm telling those little parts that I love you, and if you want to come and play with me someday, that we might do that. But it's different. It's different. And I don't know many people here, so I guess that's what the poetry does. Poetry lets me be. And I'm not one to put myself down. I don't put my writing down because was in my past. And today I feel that everything, it's not that I don't know what the word is. What I write is me, and I don't want to change me for anybody else. That's it. I want to be me. And I'm not I went out to dinner with my children the other night because all of us, and I said to my son, I said, Adam, I don't care if I go anywhere, honey. I can celebrate my birthday alone. And that's, I'm not expecting anything. Oh, no, Mom, no, we can't do that. And then it happened that my daughter-in-law's father's dying and going on to hospice today. And so I'm here on my birthday and I love it. I'll probably write a poem about my spaghetti.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you, Anna.
just breathe and be who you are, and don't try to be for anybody. I wouldn't write for anybody else. That's my thing. And I know y'all feel different, but I have to be me. I have to say it
No,
the way.
it's important. It's our voice on the page is what it is. It's our
Mhm.
voice on the page. It's what it
You're
is.
right. I like
And
that.
You know, what I am gathering also is half of everybody here has been said, oh, they're too much, or you're too sensitive, or you're too this, or you're too that, some along their life there. And couple conversations with Jeannie Roberts, poet Jeannie Roberts, and Rosemary Watton, the drummer.
Yeah.
They're talking about almost at times feeling like, is this too much to put in a poem? And I'm like, to me, where else are you going to go if you can't put it down on this page? There's nowhere else to go.
That's right.
Mhm.
And I
So,
have to be able to put it down somewhere
yeah.
my
Whether
way.
we share it or not, now I think that's another
Right.
story.
Mhm.
And that's another practice, probably altogether, what we share, how much we share, and all of that. But putting it on a page, it's wide open and waiting for us to just
Well,
spill it
you
out.
read Rosemary's stuff, and Rosemary is just, it happens. The same with James Crew. I don't think he goes over his
Yeah, but
poems.
look at their practice.
Yeah,
Look at their
every day.
practice.
I know. But
Every day.
it just flows.
The more we
Um,
practice, the more better we
No more
get.
better, honey, better.
Anybody else have anything they want to say before we chime off for now? How about we circle up with that one word that's resonating in our hearts then? And I'll start with the birthday girl today.
Excitement.
Thank you, Patty Joy. Joanne.
Well,
Which
I'm
Joanne?
Oh, I'm sorry, Draper.
okay. I'm going to end with the word I started with, which is gratitude, because I'm always grateful to be with other poets.
Linda Meg.
Contentment.
Joanne Rowley.
Learning more. Ooh, 2 words. Learning.
That's okay. And I think it's Rowley, isn't it? It's not
Yes,
Rowley.
it's Rowley. Yeah.
It's Rowley. Apologies on that. Hard to, I remember my own name sometimes. Miss Cheryl?
Informative. I made lots of notes. You ladies were very informative. Thank you.
Good. Miss Ginny.
I'm inspired now.
Oh,
I
good.
love this so much. I loved everybody's poems and everybody's tips. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Awesome. Miss Linda M.
Curious. I want to learn more about the different things people do. This made me want to have this workshop every other day.
Yeah, no, it was good. I knew it was. But see, I get these little intuitive hits. My word is hope. I'm hanging on to hope lately, everybody. I'm
yeah.
hanging on to hope. Hanging on to
Boom.
hope. Yeah. So this Summer of Love series is throughout the summer. What's gonna happen to it after that? I have no idea. Like I told you before, I'm usually last to know. I'm guided by intuition, and I usually don't second guess myself so much. And as during the process of it all rolling is when I actually realize what's going on and start to see what I'm supposed to see. So I just know was a real good idea. And I thank you all so, so, so very much, not only for sharing, but for showing up, for showing up. Eh, This is the time for us to show up and share if I've ever seen it. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And please visit zenfulconversations.com to anybody listening in. We have a lot of free offerings. Thanks to our supporters. We have a lot of free offerings going on. Just about everything is free. Everything is free, virtual that's going on. And there's a lot of poets that are sharing in workshops, co-hosting, sharing their time and talents, and just appreciate the support. Zenfulconversations.com. Everybody here, thank you. Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank you.
you.
In deep, deep gratitude. Namaste.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Bye.